So you guys may or may not have heard that Boom Studios have officially announced they are ending their Power Rangers comics in July. Now this is of course huge news for the Power Rangers fandom, so in today's video I'm going to talk a little bit about this announcement, what I think about it, and what it could possibly mean going forward. Let's get into it. So it's the news that I've been dreading since I first read the very first issue of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers by Boom Studios all those years ago. I think it was about 8 years ago now, in fact. If you don't know, the comics are actually what got me back into Power Rangers as an adult, and since then I have gone on to read every issue, rewatch most of Power Rangers, and of course make a Power Rangers channel that you are currently watching right now. So it goes without saying that I'm very, very disappointed in this news, but it may not be the end. Let's start by talking about the announcement in general. It all ends here. With the morphing grid in peril, the people of Earth are left without Power Rangers to protect them. The ultimate battle against Dark Spectre will play out with unexpected consequences. While an unlikely group of rogues, villains, and rangers make strange company, but even if they win, can they rebuild everything they've lost? Fan favourite ranger writer Melissa Flores, acclaimed artist Simona Di Gianfelice, and acclaimed colorist Raul Angulo weave together a story that fans have been waiting nearly a decade for, delivering an unforgettable finale that everything has been building to. After nearly 2 years, the Darkest Hour comes to a close. This event has been one of the biggest tasks of my career, but I've enjoyed every single heart-wrenching minute. Although I put our poor Rangers through the ringer, I hope the ending is as satisfying for the reader as it was for me to write, says series writer Melissa Flores. I'm really excited to tell this incredible adventure together with Melissa. So far she has kept us in suspense and now she's ready to surprise us again. Get ready to dive into the final chapter of Darkest Hour. Go, go. There we have it. So the final issue of Power Rangers will be on July 31st, 2024, titled Darkest Hour Issue 1. Now of course don't be fooled by the fact that it's an issue 1. This is just an oversized issue that apparently brings together everything from the last 8+ years of storytelling in these comics. Now, before we get any further, let me take a minute to talk about something very important. While I consider myself to be a fairly confident person, I have struggled with feeling anxious towards certain situations in life. It's not something I really talk about publicly, but I have used therapy before to help me get through these difficult periods. I used BetterHelp, who this video is in paid partnership with, and I found it incredibly helpful to be able to talk openly and honestly with someone outside of my regular life. The therapist had no prior knowledge of myself, which helped me to get an objective outside perspective. I personally found it much easier and more confident opening up to a detached third party rather than someone I'm close to. Of course, all friends and family mean well, but when you hear things like, just get over it or just move on, these things really don't help. And the therapist truly listened without judgment and taught me how new coping mechanisms can be tailored specifically to my situation. Over time, and with the support of the therapist, I made real progress addressing the issues that were causing me to have anxiety. If you feel like you could benefit from speaking to a professional therapist outside of your regular social circle, I highly recommend checking out BetterHelp. It's super easy to get started, just fill out a questionnaire about your needs, and BetterHelp matches you with a therapist trained to support you in your specific situation. I'm so grateful I made the decision to try BetterHelp when I was struggling. I genuinely think it changed my life. If you think talking through your challenges with an outside professional could help you too, visit betterhelp.com/the6th Ranger or select the 6th Ranger during sign up to get started and receive a special discount off your first month of therapy. Now there have also been a few hints from Boom Studios at Power Rangers announcements, and we know that there's a Comic-Con coming up very soon, so there's potentially going to be an announcement there. Is this series going to be rebooted? Are they perhaps moving away from Mighty Morphin and maybe even into In Space or Turbo or Zeo or any of the other follow-up Ranger teams? I know that Mighty Morphin are without a doubt the most popular team ever in Power Rangers, but that doesn't mean that the comics have to stay with that team forever. They've tried some fresh things, they've brought in original characters, they've brought in a new Green Ranger so that we get the white and Green Ranger at the same time, and they've done some really cool things. But there is only so much you can do with one team, at least in my opinion. I would like to see them move forward with maybe Zeo or In Space. Having other teams as the focus means that we can still bring in the Mighty Morphin team, but they're just not the main characters, meaning that when we do see them, it's almost even more exciting. This would at least be my preference, but obviously on the flip side, they could just be rebooting it back to the very start as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Who knows, we'll find out very soon. But if this really is the end of this comic book series, what does this mean for the Power Rangers fandom? I've already expressed my disappointment in the news and how it was the thing that got me back into the franchise. So I have absolutely no doubts that this has been the case for many, many other adult fans. The comic books give the writers the opportunity to play with darker themes and storylines, which do attract a more mature and older audience, myself being one of them. It's stuff that you can't really do on a kids' TV show. Lord Draken being the best example of this. You can't have an evil character come in and kill off a bunch of Rangers on a kids' TV show. And even if this was the case and they were to stop having the comic books and they were no longer able to produce these more mature stories, I don't think it will be the end for this more adult content. I genuinely think that with the announcements that Hasbro have made over the last few years, with Jonathan Entwistle running his own cinematic universe, I think that we're likely to have more older themed shows, maybe even movies, coming soon anyway. The comic books have definitely been a success, and I would assume that Hasbro have seen an increase in interest in the franchise in general thanks to these comics. And when big things happen in the comics, they probably see a spike in sales of merch and viewership of episodes. I know, speaking from personal experience just on the channel, whenever there's something big happening in the comics, for example the new Green Ranger, my views massively spike. And that's awesome. It's great to see that the comic book medium can still do that to fans. I'm very interested to know what you guys think of the comics. Do you care about them? Are you even into them? Did they do the same thing for you as they did for me and get you back into the Power Rangers franchise? I genuinely want to know about the impact they've had, so if you guys could leave a comment down below and let me know what they've done for you, that would be awesome. And hey, who knows, if this series is being permanently cancelled, maybe someone at Boom Studios will see the feedback on this video and think, you know what, it's worth carrying on for. That may be wishful thinking, but you never know. To summarise, I basically think that this won't be the end for the comics. They're more than likely either going to reboot it or continue on with a different Ranger team. I'd expect to see an announcement in the next 3 to 6 months. And if they do cancel it, older fans, don't panic. Like I said, I think we will get some more mature-based stuff going forward in the films or TV series. We'll see. This is all wishful thinking, realistically, but we've got to stay optimistic. That's it anyway, guys. It's just a quick little news video to get my thoughts across on this point, because everybody keeps sending me messages and asking about it. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe. May the power protect you, and I'll see you next time on the 6th Ranger.